Welcome back, Bridgewater students in classroom management. Today what we're going to do is to construct a quiz. We're going to use some questions that are in our question bank, and we're going to construct a quiz that Moodle will give to our students. It will grade the quiz for us. We don't have to grade any papers. It'll even give us a little item analysis of how students did on each question, all because we construct the quiz using Moodle features. To construct the quiz, go over to where it says add an activity, and I'm going to put this in week 1. I'm going to add an activity, and it's called quiz. Like all Moodle screens, I've got to decide how much of this I need to fill in, how much I can leave blank, but certainly anything in red I've got to fill in. So the name of the quiz I'm going to call Classroom Management Quiz 1. I'm going to leave the introduction blank. Now I could enable the feature just to where it will make the quiz show up for the students on a certain day and it'll take it away on another day. But instead I'm just going to manage this manually. And the way I'll manage it manually is just by hiding the quiz from students until it's time to give the quiz, and then enabling it or viewing it, making it show up on their screens when I want the quiz to actually be taken. I do want to change one thing here. I'm not going to give them unlimited attempts. This is just going to be a little quiz worth 10 points, period. So I'm not going to worry about them getting multiple attempts on this. I'm going to be happy with the question order that we determine when we make the quiz up. And I'm also happy that it's going to shuffle the answers within the questions. And we talked about this before, so that students don't all see the same answers in the same order, which will hopefully cut down on some cheating, so they can't just copy answer B for each other. Now the review options are important though. While they're taking this quiz, I don't want them to be able to see if the answers are right or not. So I'm going to uncheck these boxes here so that they can't see if the questions they've answered are right or not until after I close the test. Now once I close it, then certainly I'm going to show them the answers. But during the attempt, they're not going to have a chance to see the right answer. Just reviewing, everything else on the screen looks okay. One choice per, one attempt per question, per quiz that is. I'm going to skip all this stuff on feedback and simply save and return to course. Now I don't know if you caught this or not, but nowhere do we get an option of which questions are on this quiz. So although we seemingly have a quiz ready to go, the fact is there are no questions on this quiz yet. They're still over here in the question bank and haven't been added yet. So how do I get them into the actual quiz itself? Well, click on it and it will tell you there are no questions added yet, but you may now edit. And here's what I want to click on, edit quiz, so I can start adding questions. If you remember in our last video, we added some questions to the question bank. Since then, I've added a few more. So I've got about 7 or 8 questions here. I just want to pick 5 of them for my quiz today. So I'll pick 2 multiple choice questions, and I'll pick 3 true-false questions, and that'll be the quiz. So I'm going to add these to the quiz. Okay. I want the maximum grade to be 10. This is going to be a 10-point quiz. So I'm simply going to say this is a 10-point quiz, and I'll save my quiz. So now I do have 5 questions that I've previously created, and it's ready to go. You might want to take a look at that quiz, though. It makes sense that you'd want to preview it. So let's click back on Classroom Management Quiz 1, and now I can preview it. I'm going to do my preview. Now, kids are not going to see this item, edit question. I'm the author, I'm the teacher, so I see that, so that I could edit a question on the fly if I didn't like it. I can just go to the next question, make sure that the way it shows up is the way I want it to, and so forth. So now I've had a chance to preview it. One thing I don't like about Moodle is that after I submit it, Notice it says to me, you will no longer be able to change your answers. Well, actually, once I've submitted, it's not going to seemingly let me preview it again. If I try previewing it again, if I click here again, notice it says no more attempts are allowed. Well, there's a way around it, and I want to show you now the way around it so you as a teacher can preview the quiz as many times as you want to. The way around it is to go back to your Moodle page, and then I want to turn editing on, make sure it's on, and just go back and edit. You don't have to make any changes. Just hit the edit and save, and that alone will let you preview it again if you really wanted to preview it again. And notice if I click this time, it'll let me preview again, whereas before it wasn't going to let me. What you might be interested in, though, is how will this test show up for students? You've seen it the way a teacher sees it, but you're curious about how a student's going to see this quiz. I want to show you how to do that. I'm going to go back to our Moodle page. And there's an option down here that I think you've seen me use before. It's called Switch Role To. I'm going to switch role to student. And now I'm going to see all the screens as if I were a student taking this quiz. So if I click here, no longer does it say preview. Now it says attempt. It thinks I'm a regular student ready to attempt the quiz. So let's attempt it. Let's start our attempt. It doesn't let me edit the questions. It lets me answer, though. So how about if I get some of these right and some of these wrong? And let's make sure that Moodle is going to grade it correctly for me. So this is a question we made up in class the other day, and the answer to that was behaviorism. This question refers to with-itness. With-itness refers to being aware of what's going on in the classroom, but let me answer it wrong. Let me suppose I'm going to miss this question. Here's a question about the first day of class. It's wise to give students a tough assignment. If you remember, we said, no, we want to give students a successful assignment the first day. So the answer, this is a false statement. The flipped classroom. Now, we talked about this question the other day. It's not where teachers flip their seats around. No. But let's miss it. Let's say it's a true. Okay? So I'm deliberately missing this one. And this question is just about rules and procedures, and it's a true statement that rules identify expectations, whereas procedures communicate routines. So let's click Next, and it will let me submit. Now I can go back and see how I answered at this point. I've already submitted. But let's go back now and switch our role to teacher. So I'm going to switch my role to my normal role, which is teacher. And let's see how this student did. I can click on the word attempts. It's hot. Now it's a red hot link. So I click on attempts, and it shows me the ones I got right and the ones I missed. And shows me that I got a grade of 6 out of 10 on this, which is what I would have expected. But since this was a sample student, not a real student, I'm actually going to click and delete that attempt because it wasn't a real student anyway. Okay, the quiz at this point is ready for students to take. What I might want to do is to turn editing on and hide the quiz so they don't see it until the day comes where I do want them to take it. If that being the case, I make it visible, then they can click on it, take the quiz, and Moodle will grade it for us. We'll look at student grades in a later video. See you later.